back to the garden. I want to give you a short tour of what is surviving the heat in August. We're over here by my car because look, this is a loofah. So I planted a loofah 3 years ago and haven't planted one since, but each year we get volunteers. And this one is climbing my gate and it's so cheerful that I've just let it go. The banana is doing really well. It is still suffering from the heat. You can see, even though this is a fully tropical plant, the leaves are getting damaged, and with the wind, it's gonna tear the leaves up. But overall, it's doing really well. The verbena, look how happy the verbena is looking. I think it's looking really nice. We've got a Gumferena in here. So this is a volunteer Gumferena. We've got a zinnia coming up. And the canna is struggling because the watering system to it broke. I fixed it and it's coming back. You can see there's, let me see. I don't know if you can see, but it's putting out some new growth, some new shoots at the bottom. So, and we're starting to head into a little bit cooler temperatures. It usually cools down about September, not a ton, but we get below 100. So this should bounce back pretty quickly. Now, we've had such hot, the summer has been so hot that I didn't get any figs. Now figs like heat, but what they don't like is they don't like their roots cooked. So I discovered, I was working on this pot one day, just checking to see if it was well watered, and I realized how hot the soil was because the sun on this was just baking this so much. So what I did is I just moved it to the patio, put this board in front, and it cooled down the roots so much that it was able to do it. There's a hummingbird right there. They're getting more and more brave. If I stand up, he'll run away. Oh. The hummingbirds are amazing. I just love them. Oh, this is my Lisbon lemon. And you can see it did have quite a bit of damage on it. So you can see this is the sun scald. It was just getting so burnt from the sun. But now look how much fresh new growth. So tons of fresh new growth all over the tree, which is always a good sign that it's super happy. Over here, I've put together just a little bird table. So this is my pineapple, my aloe veras. I can't remember what it's called, but it starts with a tri because it has 3 leaves. And my bougainvillea. And all I did is I moved these here so that they would have some shade, but it also gives just a little bit of cover to the birds who come into my patio to have a break. So you can see it's completely covered. And when it gets super hot in the middle of the day, the birds need to have extra water. Now the bird bath over here, very popular, but when it's super hot in the middle of the day, they don't like to go there because there's no cover. I used to have my trees, you know, my lemon trees around it, but it got so hot that my lemon trees were burning, so I had to move them to some cover, and that means that the bird bath is exposed. So what I did was I just put a little saucer of water, some bird food, and some plants so that they feel that there's some cover, and it's been very, very popular. We've got sweet potato vine just taking over everything. Now it's providing some shade for my peppers so that they're able to make it through the summer. And sweet potato vines are edible. You can eat the leaves like spinach. I prefer to cook it. I like sauteed spinach. It's just a quick veggie, and it tastes, I can't tell the difference between the sauteed sweet potato leaves and sauteed spinach, but if you eat them fresh, I don't enjoy them. This is my Meyer Lemon, and you see I moved it against the fence where this shade, this is a wind barrier, but it also provides quite a bit of shade, and it's doing so much better. Look at all the new growth versus sun scald from when it was out by the bird bath. So it's doing a lot better, a lot happier. We've got a couple of different varieties of squash. This one is Blue Hubbard, and this one I don't remember the name. I don't even know how to say it, but that's the name. Aha. you can see damage to the leaf. Something's eating it already. But it's looking pretty good. My Crepe Myrtle is this one's just starting to bloom. All the others have already bloomed because they're in full sun. But this is just starting to bloom, but you can see how heavy these blossom heads are. This before the blossoms started to come, this was up here, and now it's falling down on the other one. The fig is looking really good. It was very unhappy because its roots were getting cooked. So I moved it back behind. This is more of an insulated pot that's made out of foam, or I don't know, it's made out of a plastic material. But it's thicker, so it has more insulation than this nursery pot. So sneaking it in that little crook means that it gets afternoon shade. And I just love the way that this creeping Jenny looks. I need to propagate some more of that. We've got a lime coming along. If that works out, that will be my first lime. Let me show you this way. Looking pretty good. So this melon, this is a watermelon, and it is disappointing. Look, there's a moth right there. That's craziness. Back to the melon. The melon has been disappointing. It's been here for 2 months, and this is it. Like nothing. I've given it extra food. I've tried to make sure it's well watered. It hasn't had any pests, but I think it's just the location. So you can see it's had little baby, oh, I just knocked it off. It's had small little baby watermelons like right there, but they're not pollinated. So here's another one right here. And if he gets pollinated, we might actually get a watermelon, but signs are not pointing to yes. This is my cucumber, which has also been disappointing. Now, I love how much it's growing. It's an Armenian cucumber, and as you can see, it is always coated in bees. It is a hive of activity. The butterflies love it, the bees love it, and the hummingbirds actually come here pretty often for the flowers as well. But it's only produced male flowers. So I read up about it, did a bunch of research, and I found the reason that it typically produces only male flowers. That's normal in the first little bit, in the first week or two of the flowers to be just male. But after that, and it's been over a month of good flowers, after that, it's a nutrition issue. To make the fruit, which is the female flowers, it takes a lot more energy, and the plant won't do it unless it has really high nutrients available. So I've been giving it liquid feed for the last few weeks, just once a week. It was a fish emulsion fertilizer. Ooh, that stuff stinks. But I give it a good drink of that once a week for the last 2 weeks. And look how much bigger these new leaves that are coming on. Oh, look at that's a fat one. Such a fat bee. Yes, welcome to the garden. But the leaves are getting bigger. It's looking a little bit happier. I'm hoping that we will get some fruit soon. But if not, I've been really blessed with my garden. I can't complain if one thing doesn't work out. We've got cantaloupe. So this is my cantaloupe. This one is in a box because it started to get some rodent teeth marks on it, and I was not about that. So again, I did some research, and if you put it in one of these little plastic boxes, this one's from grapes from the store. And then I'm growing my melons up, so I am giving it, this is just a mesh bag. I bought them in bulk off Amazon, and it holds up the melon until it's ready to harvest. And we'll know it's ready. The webbing is looking good. And this is starting to get a little bit lighter, but that's still pretty green. We want that to get to like a orangey gold color. And we might get as many as 3 off this vine. See, there's another one there that's starting to size up. And if that happens, I'm gonna be very happy. The Gumferena, look how beautiful the Gumferena is. I mean, just look at the intense colors you're getting. That is not Photoshop. That's not edited. That's the actual color. It's so intense it doesn't even show up on camera. But these are great flowers. They're great. That's a little too wiggly. See how that head is super floppy? You don't want this one, the head's too floppy. But see how this one, when you move it, it's more stiff all the way up? That's a good one. But these have been really popular with the bees and the butterflies, as have these ones. I've seen bees sleeping on these numerous times. Fat bees just come over and take a nap. Now, I'm not going to get super close on this area. There are fire ants, and we are waiting on the, I got an organic treatment thing. I don't know what I don't remember what it's called. I think it's spinosad. We're waiting for that to show up today. Had to order it offline, and we're going to try that to try to get rid of them. Now, there's a lot of stuff available locally, but all of it was not safe to put in your food garden because it's systemic, which means the vines take it up, or the plants take it up in their leaves and their fruits, and it can actually cause you problems as well. So we don't want to do that. But you can see we've got, this is corn, and then anywhere there was, I planted corn in a grid, and some of it doesn't come up, so then I just replant in that hole. So you can see this one's just a baby coming up. Oh, I replanted a couple times. Looks like I'm gonna get 2 in this area. That's okay. This is yard-long green beans. I learned about it from an Asian gardener I follow. I don't know where they're located. I think India, and then there's another one I follow in Thailand. But I like to follow gardeners who have similar climates to me, which usually means not in the US. But the yard-long green bean is used a ton in Asian cuisine in places that is super hot in the summer. And so they grow these and they use them in stir fries, and they're just really prolific. I planted another watermelon over here. You can see, look how much better this looks. This is like 3 weeks old, and the other one's like 2 months old. This is much happier over here. So we're letting him go, and we'll see what we get. I planted a Cinderella pumpkin right here. We've got, this is a passion vine, but it was getting a little bit too burnt, so I just put this board right here to give it some shade. We've got, this one is a sugar sweet pie pumpkin. And then over on this side, so you can kind of see where that PVC pipe is. That's my divider. This side is a different variety of corn. That side is candy corn. And this side, I can't remember which one I did, but I planted a different variety. And then none of it came up, so I planted again just yesterday. And here's hoping that something comes up. So soon, these archways will be covered with green beans on this side. I planted, I think it's Blue Lakes, stringless Blue Lake on this side, on all the arches, and I'm waiting for it to grow up and over. This is a volunteer pumpkin because I did some trench compost. Oh, hello, there's a baby lizard. Oh, he's hiding. Little hide. This is a pumpkin that just came up on its own. I did a trench compost here last year, and I composted the neighborhood's pumpkins from Halloween, and it just is going nuts. I got attacked by the squash vine borer, so we have lost our patty pan right here, but we've got some more winter squash coming up. So this is a Iran. This one is a crookneck, which is a summer squash. That's a zucchini, which is also a summer squash. And this one is butternut, which is my favorite winter squash. We've got another patch of the sweet potato vines. And then, oh, the tomatoes. So these are the same tomatoes I planted in spring, but all I did was cut them way back. And you can see they're regrowing just fine. Like this one, it's going a little bit nuts. And like this one, I did a much better job of trellising up. So you can see I had cut all the side shoots off when I first trellised it in the spring. But when I cut it back to here, we had a new shoot coming out here. But look, I put another one out here, another one out there. And then along the bottom of the stem, I'm not seeing any. But that means I could take it back to there and let that regrow for the fall. Look at this basil. That basil, I mean, that's at least 3 feet tall. That's, I don't know if you can see, but that's basically my waist. That's pretty high. but it's doing really well. Everything's coming along. We've given it some extra mulch and things are coming up. We've got some more zinnias opening. And I'm feeling like I'm pretty blessed. I mean, what a beautiful garden. I tried to take some shots for you guys last night in the sunset, but the microphone, I forgot to have the microphone on. So I did a whole tour, but I will share with you some beautiful sunset shots of the garden. Ooh, that's hard to say. Thanks for coming. Bye, guys.